Everybody. So, we are going to talk about families must act now. 4.5 million jobs will need degrees soon. And now I'm going to say the disclaimer. I'm going to let that sink real quick, though. Yes, I am live streaming. I'm going to let that sink. Where is it? Video tools. Disclaimer. The videos presented here are for informational purposes only, and therefore, if you are to choose to attend an institution, please do your own research and consult with a specialist at the institution you are interested in. I am not a financial aid specialist, academic advisor, or representing any institution. Speaking on behalf of Creator, Henry is only speaking from his experience. So, yes. Now I'm going to say it one more time. Families must act now. Families must act now. I can't scream in the apartment, but families must act now. 4.5 million jobs will need degrees soon. This was actually researched by Georgetown University. And I want to paint a picture, because they said this will happen within the next 7 years. Some might say that's a decade from now. Some might feel that is not important right now at all. It's not important. It's not important. The future does not bother people. Some people are living for tomorrow. Some people are living for today. Some people maybe are thinking about the next month. Some people don't know what they're going to eat at night. And I am a big prime example of that sometimes. I don't even know what I'm eating tomorrow. And out of these jobs, out of this 4.5 million jobs, we need degrees. What level of degree do you think will be needed? It is going to be bachelor degrees. It is going to be bachelor degrees needed. Why is this important? Currently, before I even get into the data, this is important and urgent, because if you are a parent, not student right now, parent, because you're going to have to inject this into your kid, not your student, but your kid, who is going to be your student, the scholar in the house, right? We are in a time now, in the present, that higher education is not important, right? Now, it could be some other stipulations, but I highly doubt it. But I would say that part. But we are in a time now, higher education is not perceived to be important. Cost. People's opinions. Not facts. Opinions. And who am I to say this? I'm just a person who is going through life as you. Normal. Don't make crazy amounts of money from talking about higher education. It's an interesting topic once I get people who are out there to talk about it, but it's not popular right now. And parents, you're going to have kids who are stepping into college, right? First and foremost, they need to go to a college they can afford. They need to at least start at the 2-year. In 7 years, I don't want to know what university prices are going to look like. But I can tell you one thing, 2-year colleges will not be more than a university. And it's really important that you start talking about college with them, because in the next 7 years, we're going to have AI, robots, but a lot of these jobs are going to require bachelor degrees. It's not what people want to hear, but it's true. You're going to need, I'm going to turn this out so y'all can't see my education in this moment. You're going to need some type of education. And the 4.5 million jobs will need bachelor degrees. Excuse me. And no one is going to want to put you in a job specifically because you do not have, because you do not, nobody's going to put you, no one is going to want to put you in their job, their business, and you don't have a degree. They only do that for certain people. And even those certain people got to have some type of trainers, right? Even those certain people have to have something. So it's really important as we keep going to talk about it. Y'all probably thinking I don't got no data, I'm just going off a whim. Nah, never that, never that. So per Chronicle Higher Education, they said 5.25 million workers, right? Stat of the day, 5.25 million workers. They saying that's what we have right now. 5.25 million workers, I think. They just said stat of the day, but they didn't put no context on it. That is the size of a looming skills gap. So we potentially have 5.25 million workers of a skills gap. According to a report, which the report I'm going to go through with you all, the report is by Georgetown University Center. Education is by Georgetown University Center, and it's on education and the workforce. Why is this important, guys? Because, well, this is great deal of credibility by Georgetown University. Shout out to them. This is why we have schoolhouses. This is why I say I'm not against universities. I'm against them charging you, families and students, ridiculous prices, and nobody is taking charge on how to fix it. That is what I'm against. So once again, one of the reasons why I would not walk in graduate school. You learn more, you know more, you just feel like some things just don't really resonate. It says the United States is projected to need the extra workers with post-high school education. Post-high school education. Not a trade. They are going to need you with post-high school education. Now, you might can get away. Some of these jobs they're mentioning, you probably could get away with just a associate's degree or a trade. But they are emphasizing in this article or this research data piece that you're going to need a bachelor's degree. Once again, why you should start a 2-year college. Get that return on investment. So it says largely because more skilled workers are expected to retire. So a lot of workers right now who are very skilled are set to retire or plan to retire rather than enter the labor market again. I don't know if we remember. I'm pretty sure we all know this and saw this, right? We got a lot of older people still working, right? A lot of older people are not holding their jobs like they used to. A lot of them are getting out when they can, cashing in their retirements because they play around and wait to retire. They could get hit by what? You know, I love to mention it. The 08 housing crisis, the 07, 08, shoot, some people even say 09 carried over. But, you know, the crisis. So some 18.4 million workers with post-secondary education will likely retire. Far more than the 13.8 million who are poised to enter the workforce with equivalent qualifications. Once again, 18.4 million workers with post-secondary education will likely retire. Far more than the 13.8 who are poised to enter the workforce with equivalent qualifications. It says further adding to the crunch, the economy is in line to add 685,000 new jobs that require post-high school education. The economy is in line to add 685,000 new jobs that require post-high school education. I don't know. I'm getting vibes that they're saying you are going to have a degree in order to operate AI. I always got related about AI because AI got to be included nowadays. But out of 685,000 new jobs, they will require they will require a bachelor's degree. 685,000 new jobs in the future. Maybe now. We're just planning out now, but definitely in the future. And so Bachelor degrees are a huge chunk of the gap. That's what the Georgetown University data is saying. It says for all the recent hype about short-term credentials, bachelor degrees are a huge chunk of the gap. For all the hype, for all the recent hype about short-term credentials, 4.5 million of the skilled jobs that will need to be filled require a bachelor's degree or higher. What is good, G? What is good? 4.5 million of the skilled jobs that will need to be filled require a bachelor's degree or higher. Guys, we can't all be TikTok influencers. We can't. I will say this. I will theorize this, though. I do feel like we all can be educated YouTubers, having a bachelor's degree, doing our main job at work, and carrying it over to YouTube. That's a definitely good dialogue. We all can't be on the social medias, the Instagrams, Meta, even though they are owned by the same person. We all can't be doing that. That is an oversaturated market. I do feel like if you don't think that, okay, I don't want to theorize nothing. But do you really think with these apps and the way they're controlled on like who sees your content, pushes your content, do you really think they're going to let everybody be an influencer? Do you really think they're going to let everybody just be like, oh, I don't want to work, I'm going to be an influencer? Just saying. I recently just saw something with Google saying, because Google owns YouTube, that YouTube or Google, whoever pays it, that Google / YouTube, Alphabet paid $100 billion to content creators. Why do you think they're making it harder for people to become YouTubers or content creators? They're making the guidelines stricter. In some cases, they're making it easier. But I don't know. It seems like it has gotten a lot harder from 10 years ago to become a content creator in some form or fashion, right? So you're going to need a bachelor's degree, or at least I feel you're going to need a bachelor's degree to separate yourself from the content creators on the internet, to make yourself relevant. The days of saying you don't need a degree and hopping on YouTube, you're not going to get me to watch you unless you're really just like that good. Because I do watch people who don't have degrees. But in most cases, I don't know, I keep trending toward people who do have degrees and they're on YouTube. So like you see people who are doctors, they were once doctors practicing, now they're on YouTube. There's people telling you how to eat healthy. They're supposedly got degrees, you know. I would love for them to show their degrees like me, but this is why it's important for you to like really start thinking about going to college, as you are going to need to fill this gap in the economy. So I'm gonna go to the actual data. So it says right here that this is once again by Georgetown University, the Center on Education and the Workforce. If you want to go on Google, type it in and get this data yourself, it's public information. Very public information. It says the summary: the U.S. economy is facing growing skills shortages in critical occupations due to an unmet need for workers with the post-secondary credentials associated with in-demand skills. From 2024 through 2032, 18.4 million experienced workers with post-secondary education are expected to retire, far outpacing the 13.8 million, as I read before. So it's pretty much the same briefing. Now, I do want to keep in mind that, what I was going to say, it'll come back to me. Skill shortages through 2032. So through 2032, which sounds crazy saying it, 2032, I'll be 33. It's crazy, right? Through 2032, the largest projected shortfall of workers at all levels of educational attainment will be in management occupations. Now, this could be, I hope they included AI a little bit, because people who are in AI, essentially, you're going to need less people because of AI. They can use AI software to do their job, project management, coordinating, things of that nature, right? So I won't get too worked up, but who's to say that they're going to require you to have a bachelor's degree to operate AI? And then they might say, well, in order, just like anything else, right? You don't really need to get a degree. For my computer people out there, you don't need a degree to work on to do IT, but they say it helps, right? Now, my computer people out there, don't get me. I know that's like, oh, you should have a degree, but you got to have a degree, then you got to get some certs. Or some people, they get the certs, then they go get the degree, you know? But AI can be the same way. Get the AI cert, but you're going to need a bachelor's degree. So the list of jobs that they're showing that's going to have a shortage is architecture and engineering. They are going to have a shortage according to the, let me make sure the color. So I have a blue dot. I wish I could see this. I have a blue dot for high school diploma or less, orange dot for associate degrees or some college no degree, and then the gray color is for bachelor degrees or higher. And then did they say what they, and they pulled this Georgetown University Center on Education and the Workforce forecast using data. They pulled this data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's where they pulled this. And so I have a comment by G real quick before I keep going. G said, how many people came in? Just dumping my head. G said the need for bachelor degrees is, what's that? INLY is really there to weed out applicants. And we said that before, right, G? But we're saying that in the future, right, 2032, we're going to need it. Or by 2032, according to Georgetown University. Oh, only. The need, my little cousin be like, only, see how old. The need for bachelor degrees is only really need to weed out applicants. Yes. And so, right here, architect and engineering, if you plan on being an architect engineering, it's a shortage coming. You got to have some basic economics because they got shortage and slurpers. Like, you got to have some basic economics in here. Because I could have been like, what's a slurpers? Which is very possible. Some people don't know what a slurpers is. And so this is certainly true now as well as 2032. So right here they're saying arts, design, entertainment, sports, and media. They're saying that's not going to be a shortage at all, really. It's not as strong. I'm going to look at the very strong ones. Business and financials. They're saying a bachelor's degree or higher is looking in the negatives. There's going to be a shortage of that by 2032. And then we got to think, people are not going to college either. Like, we have to put that context in there. People don't believe in going to college. But then it's like you're going to have the government having to come to an agreement with the people. Because the people like, bump it. I don't need to go to college. For what? I could just live off the system, essentially. Or I could just do DoorDash, do Uber, or work like grocery store jobs or something and getting paid more than somebody who does have an education. I have had people tell me, I made more than you, and you went to college. You working on a master's, so it's like, is that really economically healthy for the economy in the future? So G said, there is a video circulating on YouTube now about a Yale graduate who can't get a job. There are plenty of videos, and I don't know if you saw the most recent labor report where there are more unemployed people than jobs, which is insane. But I saw it coming. Yes, there are. Well, I keep up with that because of Jerome Powell, not because of my good health to just look at jobs. Not half. I know it's like I should. Because normally I can't remember how it goes exactly. I should know this. But when people lose jobs, the market goes up, like the stock market. Disclaimer, not financial advisor. And then when people have jobs, the market stabilizes. It's kind of like goes down. Well, when you have one, you don't look exactly. And so I know Jerome Powell does, though. Jerome Powell always mentions that people are like, this many people lost jobs, this many people got jobs. And it's very good to be informed on that, right? So as we keep going, it says computer and mathematical. They're saying that is going to need a bachelor's degree in the future. Like, that's already, though, like, computer and mathematical needing a bachelor's. But remember, this is about the way they perceive this data is like in the future. By 2032, we're going to have a shortage in people going to school for computers and mathematics. That's what they're projecting. Now, this could change. This could change very much. Like I said, you got to think of political laws getting placed. You got to think about, I know it's a little dim right now, but just be positive. Like thinking about, like I said before, the government could meet the people. The government could start, hey, state, like you states, you need to start funding your college institutions because students need to go to college. And so G also said the problem is that plenty of companies have a lot of faux jobs, which I believe skews that number even more. And then G said that's because no one really cares about math, especially when computers can do it, LOL. Right. And that makes me wonder too, since maths can do the since computers can do the math, and then you have AI. I seen something with Apple, like the company. Apple had it with their AI that their AI can solve your math problem, which is very it's very interesting. It can solve your math problem. Math is going to get to a point though, I heard people say, of how, not how to do it, but I believe I'm using the right word, of how to assess it. If I believe that, if I'm using that word correctly. And I'm glad you explained what faux jobs are posting. Because I was about to say, what is a faux job? And then the next one they're saying there could be a shortage is, for real, educational instruction and library. Yeah, did you know, guys, did you know that you need a master's degree to work in a library? I don't know if many people know that. Why? I don't know. And to become a librarian, you also have to take, like, at least in Georgia, you have to take a state test or pretty much an examination to become a librarian. So you could be passing your class to become, you know, like to get your bachelor's in library, becoming, oh Lord, I'm saying library. Don't get me for saying library, guys. I always say library. Some people be like, it's library. I'm like, library. Like, it's library. Like, come on now. I just don't see myself saying, hey guys, let's go to the library. Library. So G said there is such a thing as library science, which is ridiculous. Yes. I guess to have a job where you sit down and organize books, you have to go through a lot of schooling, because that's still, I still would like to, I don't know, somebody should do that. Maybe I would do that. What do you do as a person, as a librarian? What do you do on the day to day? I get that you organize books, keep track of them, they order stuff. Seems like they do a lot, the person I did speak with, but I don't know. I think that'd be interesting. A little nerdy, but I think it'd be interesting. I'm actually old enough to have helped my library transition to an online system. So nothing really now. Interesting. So one of them said, so what they did say is going to have slurpers will be, hey guys, I just want to make sure I'm saying that right. Hold on real quick. Hold on. If I got to be saying it right because G didn't correct me. G didn't correct me yet. But what if? Surplus. I'm saying slurpers. I feel like it would be slurpers, but it's surplus. Surplus. I'm still saying surplus to be funny. But food preparation and serving. Did you know, guys, that you needed a okay. Do you need a degree to do food preparation and serving? I don't know. That's on the list. It's on the list. Yeah, surplus. Yeah, I always say slurpus, to be honest with you, but surplus. When you get a drink, do you get a slushy? You say slurp? I slurp the drink, or do you just say like, okay, like, oh wait, kids, G, don't get me started, cause I'm just like, you know me and these words that go with it. No, you don't need a degree, but like I was saying earlier, they just do that stuff to weed out applicants. Like food preparation and serving, to need a degree is crazy. Cause they're saying like 408,000 have a bachelor's degree when doing it. But I believe when they say food preparation and serving, I believe they could be indicating about like management, because I always think like people, we think about jobs like Papa John's, right? Or Little Caesars, right? Or grocery store jobs, but some of these jobs need, what's that word? You need a corporate. You need corporate. I wonder, do they be putting this together, like combining it? That always makes me wonder. And you want to know something about the things that I mentioned, the jobs that I mentioned so far? You can get an associate's degree at each of these jobs. You can get an associate's degree in each of these jobs or career fields. That is the thing that I mentioned. The jobs, the career fields that I just went down, I'm still going, but you can get an associate's degree. You can start with your associates and bridge to university and get your bachelor's. Say $10,000 or more. That is why we are going to have a shortage. But the whole thing about it, me guys, I like stock market a little bit. Not a stock market wizard, but if the economy is stumbling, people are fearful because they can't get jobs. It's hard. It's getting more expensive. Things of that nature, right? Stock market could go down, potentially. It can go down or it could go up. It has a mind of its own. But it's something to think about. So right here, they're saying healthcare practitioners and technical. When they say technical, I'm trying to figure out. But healthcare practitioners real quick, because they have a big line of like, they're saying negative 735,000. But they did say right here, through 2032, the largest projected shortfall of workers at all levels of educational attainment will be in management occupations. Don't nobody want to take on this management headache no more. People don't want to deal with management and get the pennies. You got to start giving these people equity, man. Straight up. People gonna need equity. Healthcare practitioners. I'm not in the health field, guys, but I'm assuming, yeah. Y'all licensed medical professionals who diagnose illnesses, develop treatment plans, and provide healthcare services. Yes. Doctors, nurses, dentists, therapists. I just want to make sure. Pharmacists. Yes. So they're saying there's going to be a big shortage of that in the future, near future. I'm going to say near future. Like if you ask me, 2030 is only 5 years away. And then you put an extra 2 years on it, it's only, like, it's right there. So, like, it's around the corner if you ask me. And so, and then we're finna go into 2026. But yeah, we're gonna have a shortage in healthcare practitioners and technicals because it's expensive to go to medical school. Everything always goes back to cost for me. Like, you want to have more doctors, but it's gonna create a shortage, and it's gonna be like people don't go to the doctor now. So it's just gonna hurt people though. I wonder how businesses are gonna feel though, that they are struggling to hire more people on. It's an interesting thought. They not struggling with healthcare support though. That's interesting, right? According to this data, that's very interesting. They're not gonna struggle with healthcare support because it's less rigorous, it's less expensive to go become a healthcare support. Like you could become a surgical tech, for example, and well, you can get your degree in that. But you can do like, people that clean the tools in healthcare before they do surgery on you, they clean the tools. Like you can get certificates in that. All you have to do is take part of one of the hardest classes, which is like anatomy, for my healthcare people out there. So G said to keep prices, I know you said some other things too, G. They said to keep the prices and wages high by keeping scarcity high. Exactly. It's like really basic economics. Like basic economics can take you, like supply and demand can take you a long way. Like really a long way. Like that's what helped me find AI early. When I was reading up on it, I was like, the timing, I didn't expect the timing to come so fast. And then G said my cousin studied surgical tech, and that's why they do more or less. Right here they said the biggest shortfall, like we said, 1.6 million in management. G, you said something about management real quick before I keep going. You said something about management. G said, what I'm saying that legally they keep the number of doctors limited. They got to keep the number of doctors limited. That's why they keep driving up the cost of college to go to med school. It's not, I don't think it's a coincidence personally that it's that expensive. And we had to talk about that actually, me and some colleagues. Gee, did you know that colleague was formed, the word colleague was formed because of college. The word colleague comes from college. So any of you all out there who say college is not worth it and you don't have a bachelor's or associate's degree or certificate, and you saying, oh, college is not worth it, or let me find out you saying colleague. I'm gonna start saying you can't say colleague unless you went to college. It makes total sense to me, LOL, right? Yeah, one of my colleagues told me that. It was funny. I was like, it was kind of cool. It's like a punchline joke. So I was like, that's a good one. And you said something about management. Let me find that real quick. Unless you retype it. I don't think you'll retype it, but you pretty fast with that typing. You said something about your auntie. I think you said your auntie was in management. Let me find it. I want to find it now. I said it. Okay, you said my aunt does management in Atlanta at a school and does not have a degree. Interesting. What type of, I guess, like, is it corporate management? Yeah, management can be on all levels. Is it like corporate man? You said at a school. Before I even, let me put the context in. At a school. And when you say school, like K-12 school or college? Let me know. And so, like, but bachelor degrees needed. 1.6. Management, 1.6. Now, management can be very, like, that can go a lot of ways. But then again, if you feel like college is not worth it, you pop into the chat with us, you come into the chat, and you're like, how is this going to help me? I'm a parent, Henry. I'm a parent, behalf, whatever you might call me. Why does this matter? Well, it matters because they even mentioned it. They even said, Chronicle Higher Education even mentioned before I keep going, because the second highest on here was healthcare practitioners, by the way. That was the second highest, I believe, behind management. Yeah. It's important because they even said that there's a constant trend right now, right? That you should go you should go get a trade. They're not saying you should go to two-year college. They're saying you should go get a trade. And, you know, guys, I try to bring practical experience to the live screen. I don't really try to give you opinions. I try to give you experience of what's going on. And then eventually when I have been out the game for too long in higher education, like working day to day, I'm gonna have to go to people who are currently working in higher education, which is gonna open up a whole nother can of worms. But as a parent, if you have a kid, it's very crucial right now that you make sure your kid goes to college when they graduate high school, or start early in high school, because like I said, college is not getting no cheaper. Universities will not get cheaper. People bypass this information right now. It's not being rewarded, which is okay. Right now. But start at a two-year college. Get your return on investment. Stay off campus. Don't get a meal plan. It's extremely important that you know how to budget. You don't have to be a math wizard of any sort. I think we know that now. It's funny because I was coming up like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell them, like, you need to know how to budget, blah blah blah. But now it's a big thing after the pandemic. So I'm not saying anything new, but you do need to be pretty good with your money, and that's why I say you need to have a good purchasing power of like $2,000 to $3,000. You don't go over $2,000 to $3,000 when paying for college, unless you just have the money and capital to do that. You have to treat yourself as a independent person when going to college. If you are a follower when going to college, you will be severely in a bad situation. I did not follow everybody in college. The downfall of that for me was that I didn't have a lot of, like, Like how everybody said I made lifetime friends in college. I didn't make a lot of lifetime friends in college. I probably made one out of my whole collegiate journey at my university. At my 2 year, a lot of my peers were older, so they had a mindset of mentoring me. But I made a lot of, I guess you could say, I made a lot of lifetime friends with older people in college who were going to school. You know, they were going back to school or they were just getting more education. So, and I got an old soul per se. But even they said like, shoot, if I had known started a 2 year college when I was like you, Henry, they said they'd be rich. Now, that's a lot to take in being rich, starting a 2 year college, but it's very much you will have a jump start, and if you capitalize on it, your life will be very different. To where like, yes, you can be rich. If you start a 2 year college, then bridge to a university and you ain't pay nothing, then you go to law school and snag on like the basic law school debt or whatever, if that, not to mention if you get a scholarship. I know somebody like that. And so you could be stepping into a lot of money when you get out of law school very quickly. And so it says right here that the per Chronicle Higher Education, because I am over the 30-minute mark. So it says the drill down. It says the Georgetown Center analyzed 561 occupations and found that, oh wow, they analyzed 561 occupations and found that 30% of them will face shortages over the next 7 years. Remember, accountants, if you are going to be an accountant or want to be an accountant, they're potentially going to face a shortage, potentially. Construction workers. Construction workers, do you need a degree to be a construction worker? Let me know. That's interesting. I don't think you do, but that's interesting. Doctors, engineers, lawyers, managers, nurses, teachers, and truck drivers. These are jobs that are going to face shortages. Now, teachers, we understand. Teachers facing a shortage, whew, and then it's going to be a very high demand. Truck drivers are already becoming a high demand. But I heard something, G, about truck drivers becoming more of, how can I put it? They're going to be taken over by robots. I heard some theoretical approach about that. You probably heard of it too. And so that's pretty much what we wanted to talk about, what families must act now. We're going to review a college. This college, I'm going to wing it right quick before researching the name and how to pronounce it. But it's called Bowdoin College. I'm going to say Bowdoin. I don't think I said that right. But, or Bowdoin College. But interesting college name, right? And so G said, I have a friend like that. He is much older than us, went to an HBCU in Atlanta on a partial scholarship and kept his head down. No, you don't need one to be a construction worker. One of the, like you said, quintessential blue collar jobs. Right. And then I had seen, they also put up here, don't know why they did that to me, but they also said right here that these are jobs that are going to be needed for high demand. It says accountants, who I said, the construction workers, the engineers, the lawyers, managers, nurses, they're all going to be particularly in high demand. So thank you, College Higher Education, for setting me up like that. And then G said, yeah, plenty of companies, including Tesla, are making autonomous trucks as we speak. Exactly. So many things revolving around education. Once again, don't be gullible. Because if you don't believe in higher education, you come here and you leave the video, you leave this live screen, you're like, ain't nobody listening to that. I don't need to go to college. Well, you might say, I don't need to go to college, but you might say, college is too expensive and I don't get a return on investment. And then I'm like, okay, why are you going to this school if it's expensive? I think that'd be my debate. If college is worthless, why did you go to this so-called six-figure, almost $500,000 school if college is worthless? Now, I posted on LinkedIn. I was posting it on Instagram. I was posting it. Nobody ever just drops in my comment section and explains why. You might get somebody in the future that says, oh, because, connections. And I'm like, okay, which one is it? It's either important or it's not important. If it's not important, just go to a 2-year. Mind your business. Then bridge to a 4-year. If it is important to you, just say it. And then G said, I have some cousins who do it. G said, plenty of truckers are already struggling and it's only going to get worse. Only going to get worse, yeah. Truckers don't, you know trucking is getting bad right now. Well, a lot of times they don't say until it's over, yeah. G said, a lot of times they don't say that. G said, well, a lot of times they don't say that until it's over. Yeah, they don't say it until it's over, and that's the problem, G. That's the problem right there. Especially when you are not meeting certain metrics you thought you were. Yeah, yeah. People wait until after they went through the college experience, which is a myth. The college experience is a myth. It's a broke myth, if you ask me. I don't even know what a college experience is. And so we are telling the people coming under us, because it's kids right now who are going into freshman year of college. Yeah, I know you talking about college, G. Yeah, I know you talking about college, G. I knew what you were talking about. I was following you. I was following you. I know your comments come in a little. That's why I try to stay on topic for certain periods. And so we are telling the people who are coming in as freshmen that get the college experience, da 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 da, just so they can rent. It's a cycle, guys. We are contributing to. I'm gonna say we, even though I didn't do the normal traditional college route. It's a team effort. We are contributing to a broken cycle of higher education, which is no different from poverty. When you telling people to do bad habits of go stay on campus, get the college meal plans, enjoy it, worry about it later. That is bad habits, man. No matter what your demographic is or race. That is bad habits. Period. It's bad information, misinformation. And then G said, because our parents do a poor job of doing it. Let me see what G said. Then I'm going to go to the college review, guys, because your boy got to do some schoolwork. G said, I'm talking about college. Well, a lot of people go into college with certain expectations. I think you need something similar as a transition from home to real world. Taking down what the community recommends. We can talk about that tomorrow, G. We can talk about that tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 17th? Yeah. That one will be very based on experience. My transition from home into real world. That will be definitely based on my experience. Hopefully we get more people who can comment and tell us their transition from home into real world, because I am curious to hear people's stories about how they transition from home into college. I'm very interested to hear that. I'm very interested into the. Yeah, I like that topic, G. I'll look into some points as well to cover. Appreciate that. And then G said, because our parents do a poor job of doing it. And then also a lot of times college is used to make up for shortcomings of our K-12 education, which is a whole nother issue. Can't wait till we get some K-12 instructors in here too, who can give us their perspective. Because K-12 instructors, I know there's some YouTube channels out there, but y'all need a voice. Y'all need somebody to come like, hey, I need to just say some things in this chat. It be like that. Like, that's dwindling because of how we emphasize. Now you're gonna have me, G. Now you're gonna have me looking up the word. I'll tell you about these big words. What do you mean by emphasize? I'm gonna say emphasize. It's probably not how you pronounce that, but when you say emphasize young adults, what you mean exactly? Empathize. Infantilize. Interesting. Infantilization is prolonged treatment of someone as if they are much younger than they really are. Studies have shown that an individual, when What's that word?
Infantilize.
Infantilize is overwhelmingly likely to feel disrespected. Such individuals may report a sense of transgression akin to dehumanization. Interesting, G. Learn a new word. That's my word of the day right there. We don't let our teenagers grow up we treat them like kids until they leave the home. Ooh, gee, yeah, I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow. You are very profound in speaking out about that. But it is a topic of discussion. My live screen still going? I accidentally had got tits. We good? We good? My bro sent the tits. And I think it. Alright, we still here, which is good. Alright. So this college. Have you heard of this college before? Bowdoin College. I would call it Bowdoin because of Bow Wow, but some tell me Bowdoin is not how you say it. I feel like that's how you should pronounce it, but I could be wrong. Okay, I'll just make it sure. Bowdoin. This gonna be funny.
Bowdoin.
Bowdoin?
Bowdoin. Bowdoin.
Bowdoin?
Bowdoin.
Bowdoin?
Bowdoin.
It looks like Bowdoin. Literally like Bow Wow. See, this is why.
Bowdoin.
It's Bowdoin.
Bowdoin.
It's Bowdoin. Like, I guess because like Bo. You know, like Bo. Bubba. Bubba. Bo. B-O. Yeah, I know about Bo. We're from that south. Bo. Bubba. Yeah. Okay, so. All right. Bowdoin.
Bowdoin.
Bowdoin. All right. So it's what they call a highly selective college. Yeah, it's so Bowdoin College is a liberal arts college in Brunswick, Maine. It's in Maine. It was chartered in 1974, which is second tier to the Ivies. Interesting. G said it's second tier to the Ivies. They have 2.6 allegedly on Google, according to Google. They have 2.6 billion. They're based in the suburban area. Okay. I never heard of Bowdoin College. If you leave it to me, I'll say, yeah. But I never heard of Bowdoin College. But it's very expensive, it looks like right now. So Bowdoin College has about, I'm around it to about 2,000 students. So G said, how you pronounce that name? Saffron. Al, how you pronounce this? Z-O, I could look it up, but Z-O-H-R-A-N. Z-O-H-R-A-N. This person is G said they're the mayor candidate for New York City. And then G said Reed Hastings, a billionaire, also attended this college. The Netflix billionaire. Huh. Netflix billionaire. Hold on, G. Let me do this review before we get into that. Hold on. This is interesting. So Bowdoin College. 4 year. It's a private nonprofit. It's in a town. G over here doing the syllables. I love when G do the syllables. G be like, come on now. It's a town. It's small. They have a 94% graduation rate. It's over, which is very good. So Bowdoin has a 94% graduation rate. It's over the 58% midpoint. And for some that's wondering why G is mentioning the billionaires, because usually we look at Noble alumni when it comes to the ratings. It's very important. Plays a big part because, yeah. So the average annual cost per year to go here is about $20,786. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. Google said based on Google, I don't go off of Google. I'm about to go to the actual school website, but Google said they're about 65 grand to go here in tuition and fees. Let's see. tuition and fee. So 2025, 2026 tuition and fees to go to Bowdoin College. Let's see. So schedule of fees. All right. So they said right here that per semester, well, I don't need to say per semester because they have it right here, but per semester is going to be about $35,535. Per year, you are looking at $71,000 per year if you go to Bowdoin College. So, you know me, guys. I factor in, this doesn't include meal plans. This doesn't include housing. So 71,000 times 4 is $284,000. That's how much you're looking at in tuition alone. That does not include the meal plans. That does not include the room and board. So you're looking at about, I'm not even exaggerating, but you're looking at a quarter million or more. You're looking at $250,000 or more to go to this college. Now, this is considered second tier to Ivy, so we're going to get into that in a minute. But you're probably wondering why the U.S. Department of College Scorecard said, why did the College Scorecard say it's only 21 grand a year? Because a lot of times, guys, schools have grants, scholarship, merit scholarships, things that, see, as G said, Bowdoin is full need financial aid. So all these factors, financial aid. So a lot of their students probably are paying about 21 grand a year. I don't know the internal things that they should probably advertise more of, like, oh yeah, our students, they have a chance of getting this and getting that based on their income, blah, blah, blah. They probably do advertise it. But I'm going to say in most cases, because I didn't hear about it or see it, that they probably don't. So if you was wondering why the College Scorecard didn't give you an accurate sticker price of it, don't be scared by the sticker price. Now that I know what I know, call the school. And if anything, apply to the school and let them know your situation. And G said, if your folks make less than 75,000, G finna put something else in there. And so the median earnings, they say after going to Bowdoin College, you can make about $83,000 a year. You can make about $83,000 a year going to Bowdoin College, guys. That's very impressive. You can make $83,000 after being 10 years removed from the college, and that's based on financial aid students. I don't know why they always do that, but it's always based on financial aid. But I believe for all students, you're going to make about that within 10 years. So within 10 years, you could be either at that, not mention your entry starting salary could be a lot higher, entry level. It says students return 97% of the time after their first year. This seems like a very good school because they're getting a lot of A's, return on investment. So, and we do grade schools that are Ivy or second tier. We grade them a little different because these schools are very high priced for there's certain information that they don't show to the public. And so 10% of their students receive federal loans, according to the U.S. Department of Education College Scorecard. And the average debt you could come out with going to the school, the average debt starting is about $18,500. See, schools like these, I wish I knew about. I didn't know about schools like these when I was coming up, guys, and I kind of wish I did. And so right here, the median earnings, we talked about that, but you have an 83% chance of earning more than a high school graduate. It's really high. It's a very high percentage. And then right here, test scores. Remember, if you want to look at campus diversity, I encourage you strongly to tour the school. Tour the school because a lot can change within a month or 2 months, for example. So just go tour the school. Bowdoin College has an acceptance rate of 8%. Bowdoin College considers admission test scores, SAT, during the application process, but does not require them. They do not require the SAT, ACT. And then, yeah. And then they got the scores on here on the College Scorecard, what scores they're looking for in order to attend their college. If you do take the SAT, ACT, how they grade you. The acceptance rate is 8%. Are you an 8%er to go to this school? If I was in school, I'd make shirts like that. I'm an 8%er to go here. I'll put that on my shirt. But 8%. You have an 8% chance of getting into the school. Okay. If I was transferring here, would I transfer here? Depending on what G said, factoring in that, because G went to Ivy League, supposedly. I don't know G personally, guys. But G said it's 100%. So G said right here that Bowdoin is a full need financial aid if your folks make less than $75,000 a year. And of course, you have to factor in other things if your parents are married, if your parents are single. Factor those things in because it's always different if you're married. For my people out there who don't know, but G said it's 100% financial aid. The thing is, the kind of students who will go to a school like this will probably know or not need this. So it's kind of like the way it's been perceived by G is that, look, either you need this aid or you don't need this aid. Like one of my videos I used to make, and I used to hold my hands up like this. So the rating that I give this school, because I'm going to go look at, first and foremost, let me go look at the Noble alumni. And G, when you said Netflix, real quick, when you said Netflix, are you saying the Netflix owner went to the school? You said Reed Hastings. I remember that name. That's the name I'm gonna look up. Yeah. Oh, Reed Hastings. Wilmot, if I said that right, Reed Hastings Jr. is an American billionaire. He is the co-founder and chairman of Netflix. Oh, wow. They say he went to Stanford and Bowdoin College. Interesting. So the person who co-founded Netflix went to a school of this caliber. Man, don't tell me college is not worth it, man. Don't tell me, man. The thing you sit there and enjoy, Netflix. See, man, I gotta get off this live screen before I stay too long. I rate the school according to its tier level and alumni based off of that. Stanley Druckenmiller went to this school. Oh, wow. We find it. Okay. Appreciate you, G. And then the mayor, the New York City mayor candidate, you said. I still did not learn how to say his name yet. I guarantee, hopefully will learn this, learn how to pronounce this. So, okay. I'm going to rate this school. I want to know more about it. I'm going to give them a B right now. They should be an A, but I'm going to give them a B because their prices, man. I want to know for sure. I know, G, you told me what you told me, but I want to get an interview with somebody who can, mission person, executive director, and know that. But I don't doubt it. This school is definitely, it's giving me A material vibes, but I'm going to give it a B. Give me the controversy over it. I know. How can you rate a school this, like this, and that? I know, guys. In due time. The rating will be fixed. In due time. B, though. Good B, though. I would, you know me, guys, like I say, if I was coming from a 2-year and I knew about a school like this, I probably would have took my chance on going to a school of this caliber because, like I said, I don't know what they teach in these schoolhouses, but Ivies teach something. I'm not saying they're better than 2 years, but they teach something in these schoolhouses. Something that I would really want to pay and see if it's a bit different. It can all just be mindset sometimes, guys. Like just being around so many people with similar mindsets and you get to see them for 365 days out the year besides holidays, and then you get to see them for the next 4 to 5 years of going to school, it does something to you. It does something to you. But this is the person that built Netflix. Reed Hastings. Interesting. And Stanley Druckenmiller. And Stanley Druckenmiller, guys, is a well-known investor. His style is he rides the companies until they go up, and then he gets out. He doesn't stay in positions long. He probably has long-term portfolios, but he's gonna ride it for the short wave, and then he's out. And then the other ones I don't know, but that is all. I had to go to school. I had to go to class right now. I appreciate you, G. We had great talks. We could talk tomorrow and discuss. We're gonna do what you said, G, tomorrow. Transition from home into the real world. We're gonna talk about that. That's gonna be our main header tomorrow. And 45 minutes is the goal. We went over a little bit. So peace, chicken grease. Appreciate the comments, G. And keep bringing them. Keep bringing the comments. We need them. Keep bringing them. Peace, chicken grease.